Hello all, Emmeric's back with the C350 W204 model, and today I'm going to be doing a job that I've been putting off for a while, at least a month. I mean, why do today when you can put off till tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes, does it? So I'm going to have to get on with it anyway. It's an oil change, yeah, oil filter change. Basically, I'm going to be giving it a little bit of a treat, something I've never done before. I'm going to give it an engine flush. It's done 94,000 miles. I know these things are quite controversial, you know. A lot more people highly recommend an older engine to have an engine flush, and to get rid of all that sort of sludge, all that sort of diesel soot that's all accumulated in the engine over the years. And like I say, this engine's done 94,000 miles now. I'm going to give it a little bit of a treat, as I say, but also even more of a treat. One moment, let's get that screen back. What I'm going to do is it seems a bit overkill and a bit expensive, but it's only a one-off treat. At the back there, I've got the Mercedes-Benz genuine oil that I've got from Mercedes, Newcastle Mercedes in the UK. And at the front, I've got a slightly cheaper, that's 10 litres by the way, it's about 56 pounds I think it was for those 10 litres, because you're going to need 10 litres for this engine, because it's a 3 litre and it holds 8 litres. And also I've got this slightly cheaper, not a lot cheaper, oil to flush the residue of the flush that I've got, which is here, which is the very famous Liqui Moly Pro line. And basically 1 tin of this would do up to 5 litres, so I'm going to need 2 tins. But can I put the whole 2 tins in? Well, I've got onto Liqui Moly on their Facebook page, and they said yes, I can put the whole 2 tins in. Just make sure when you're doing this that you've got enough room in your engine to put it in. So I'm going to have to make sure the oil's right at the minimum end, so I might have to actually let some oil out. I've got a few, basically I've got this also come from Newcastle, Mercedes Newcastle. This is the main man filter. There you go, that's the model. Some of these are quite different for the engines are quite similar, and a lot of them have like 3 seals, but this only has 2 seals, so make sure you got the right one. Also, you're going to need a new crush washer, and I always get a new nut, sump nut with it as well. Why not? You know, it's about £8. And there you go. You don't need to torque it up really, you just do it up quite tight. You can feel it lock off sort of instantly, and you can't go much tighter because it's got a really thick thread, and obviously don't go too mad on over tightening it. One of the best things I've had is this is fantastic. Look at the size of this sump drain container. The awesome thing about it is that you've actually got the funnel at the end, so it's so much easier to drain it back into these containers when they're empty. Fantastic. Right, let's have a quick look at some tooling. To get the oil filter out, you're going to need one of these tools, possibly, or a different type. This has got 14 flutes with an 1/8 inch socket. It makes life so much easier. It's only about £8 or £9, and this is something you're probably going to use every year. If you do it once, you're going to do it, or especially if you're going to keep the car. I've got a few other bits, like some of these. When you take the panel off the bottom of the car, the protective panel, you've got these little clips and things inside. I don't know if you can see them, but sometimes the thread goes, they're not that strong, and you can replace them with new ones if you want. I've got a few other bits, but it's just about keeping the car level. You see that I've got ramps here. That's basically because my parking space is on a slope, and because it's oil, I want to keep the car as level as possible. I don't want to move it, basically, once I get it going. Anyway, let's get on with it. I've done this job 3 times so far over the past 3 years, and so I do know what I'm doing on this job. A lot of the jobs, it's a one-off, but I've never actually used Liqui Moly before. What do you think about using a flush for your car? Comments below, be fantastic. I mean, I've never used it, and some people say the worst scenario is that it can soften up soften up like seals and stuff in the engine and you get an oil leak. Oh, don't want that, do we? But most of the time they say, no, it's not going to happen. But I'm going to take the risk because I thought about it too long, and I thought, no, I thought about it too long, let's just do it. Right, let's get on with it. First things first. Oh yeah, one very, very important thing is to make sure the engine oil is hot, because the viscosity, basically how runny it is, obviously if it's runny it's going to drain out the engine, it's going to drain off the internal components a lot easier. Never do it when your engine is cold. Make sure it's as hot as you can get it up to running temperature, and then that oil's going to, you know, run out like water basically when it's nice and hot. Anyway, let's get on to leveling this car up, and I can get on taking the under panel off to access the actual sump nut. And it's actually not the front. There's two panels on this car. It's not the front panel, which you'd probably think it is under the engine. It's the actual back panel, because the sump nut is quite a long way back from the front of the engine. Anyway, let's get on with it. Stay tuned. Take a look. Right, let's go under. We're going under. Yeah. And what you've got is the panel. You've got the front panel, and then you've got, I can move these in a minute, these little these ramps, and you've got the panel goes all the way back to over here, and there's about 7 or 8 nuts to take that off. Right, let's get on with that. That's quite self-explanatory. You see my car's very safe. I don't need any jacks because it's up on there. I've got it in park. That's not going anywhere. Right, there's one here and one over the other side. They're quite easy to undo actually. No effort required really. I've got my cat, Garfield, come up to meet me. There he is. All right, Garfield. Right. Well, I've undone all the nuts, the bolts, and it's ready to come out. Let's have a look. There you go. Well, that's the under panel shield. Let's put him over the way. There. And when you take that off, you've got clear access to the sump nut. There you go. Let's take a look. Right there. And there's the front panel that doesn't need to come off. It's the back panel, obviously. Right. Right, what I'm going to do now is make sure the engine is up to temperature, and then I'm going to add the liquid moly. But what I'd do to start with is just check my oil level in case some oil needs to come out first. Also, by jacking the car up, well, by getting the car higher, I got a chance to put my oil pan underneath. It's quite high, isn't it? So if it was too low, I wouldn't be able to get it under. So that's something to consider. Anyway, let's check my oil level and see if I've got enough room to put the liquid moly in. One moment. Well, that's a bit annoying because I've got to take I've literally got to take out this. It's literally below the halfway on the dipstick, so I've literally got to take out about ½ a litre for it to fit in. Probably a little bit more to be on the safe side, because there's 2 containers which are 1 litre together, 500 millilitres each. That's a pain in the arse, isn't it? So yeah, I've got to take out a litre, which is difficult because once that hot oil starts flooding out, it's hard to stop. So I'm going to have to be really quick, else I'm going to drain the whole thing. Risky. Anyway, let's try it. Right, I've got the engine back up to temperature to make that oil viscosity really runny, and hopefully I can drain out a little bit, which is going to be difficult. Anyway, let's do this. Right, the nut is 13mm And this is going to be awkward, but hey ho. Let's just loosen it off. Should come loose pretty quick. Oh! Does that come loose? Oh, that's very loose. This is a tricky bit, people. Like I say, I need to take out about... Hopefully I might better just undo the nut and let it drain and not take the whole nut out. There you go. There you go. Let's see if I can... I think that's about enough. The last thing I want to do is drop the nut at this point. Let's do it up. Let's get this out and then we're going to fill up with liquid moly. Oh, oh, Right, here's the oil I just drained out, and yeah, it's pretty dark. Let me just get a glass to put it in, see if we can see it a little bit better. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a year of use. That's about 6,000 to 7,000 miles. It does go pretty black with all the diesel soot that goes in the oil, but that is pretty damn black, isn't it? Right, let's just a look at that. I think that's quite normal though. It's just, you know, it's not nothing out of the ordinary for diesel, regardless of the mileage. Right, let's put that here. Put that over here a little bit. Right, let's put the liquid moly in. So we've got enough room now. Right, let's get down to it. It's a little bit scary when you put something like liquid moly in, because it's like water. And check out the consistency of this. It's like an extremely watery oil. And this engine, as I say, is 8 litres. And Liqui Moly say I can, when I contacted them, I could actually put in 2 500 millilitres safely. As long as I've got enough room to put it in, which I've just done. Right, that's that. Next thing is to put the cap back on. And run the car for 15 minutes. Well, 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll give it the max. So what happens is that's going to run around the filter and all the engine and give it a good clean, so they say. Right, the 15-minute alarm's gone off. The Liqui Moly, I think they call it, should have done its job. Temperature, don't know if you can see that, up to its 80 degrees running temperature, and yeah, that's it. It's all ready to drain out. Let's do this. Yeah, it's all it's just a matter of undoing the nut again. It's not going to drain out. There you go. That's just comes loose instantly. So it's such a thick thread. That's ready for me to just get that there. I'm not going to dry leaking the oil and quickly take the nut out, holding it because I don't want it to. Well, I could let it drop in the oil, but I just will keep it out. There. Oh, that's hot. Oh, there you go. Oh, loads of oil over me. Should have had my glove on. Just got to let all that drain now. Not sure how long it's going to take. Good few minutes. Right, that's a few little drips, but we're going to be putting the cheaper oil in now, 8 litres, and run it for 20 minutes, half an hour. Make sure it's got all the residue from the liquid moly out, and some of the old dirty oil, and see what happens. But here's the actual rest of the oil with the liquid moly. It was already black, wasn't it? So it's a bit hard to say if it's any different, really. I expect it's done a reasonably good job, hopefully. Pure and simply because it's the viscosity was so watery with the liquid moly, but hopefully that's done a job. Now we're going to be pouring in this cheaper, well, I say cheaper, it's still like 40 something pounds, 8 litres. We're going to fill it back up to 8 litres and run it so it cleans all the engine out. And then finally we're going to put the genuine Mercedes oil through. Right, can I pour it without getting a mess everywhere? Let's have a look. That's not too bad, is it? I've obviously put the sump nut back in, people. The old one, I'm not putting the new one into the final. Obviously we're not using a funnel. It's pouring in extremely quick. This is the first 5 litres, and as I say, it takes 8 litres. Fully synthetic. 0 W30. Right, that's the first 5 litre. What I'm going to do, because I've got 10 litres in there, I'm going to pour in a litre at a time. So this will be 6 litre. Uh, 6 litre. 7 litre. Right, I don't want to be completely full up. I'm going to put 7.5 litres in. Bring it halfway up the dipstick, which will be fine. There you go. Right, 7.5 litres. Right, I'll just check the dipstick, see if I've got the oil come up, and we'll get the car going for another half an hour. So really just clean up out all that liquid moly and the rest of the old oil, and we'll see what that looks like. While that's happened, I can pour the other oil back into the more empty containers and go from there. Anyway, be right back. Right, just a little update. I've basically got about 10 more minutes to go. I've left the flush oil that I had from these containers here. You know, I put 7.5 litres in just to flush the engine out, and don't know what your opinions are on that. Just as a flush, good idea, not so good idea? What do you think? Comments below. Anyway, I've got 10 more minutes to go. I've left it for half an hour to give it a good half an hour running, to give it a good rinse. Temperature's all nice and sweet. Basically, I've cleared out this my oil catch pan to so we get an idea of what the oil's like. So I put completely fresh oil. Most people wouldn't bother. They'd put the oil in and the next lot of oil in, their final oil, and that'd be it. But I've seen how dirty the oil goes just with a flush. So basically, as you know, I've just flushed it out with some new oil, and it'd be interesting to see how dirty that oil is just for being run for half an hour. And then finally we're just putting the proper Mercedes approved oil, and the oil, not forgetting the oil filter, and we'll take a look at that. And that's where we are at the moment. Right, 10 more minutes, and I shall drain this oil, and we'll have a look to see what's what the condition is. Stay tuned. Time's up. That's half an hour the flush oil's been going for. Clean it all out. Let's get it drained out and take a look. Right, that's a sump nut. That's a sump nut out for the flush oil. I'm going to let that drain for, oh, I don't know. Let's have a look, see what's happening. For about 10-15 minutes to make sure all that horrible oils out. Let's have a look. Can you see it? Yes, it's still draining away there. We'll let it drain as much as we possibly can, and like I say, take the filler cap off so there's no vacuum. And next stage, take the oil filter out, because we'll be filling with the fresh final oil any moment. And to take this off, I bought this lovely little tool. It's got 14 flutes around the outside. I'll put a link in the description for that if anyone's interested. And basically it just fits nicely over the top. Now if you try to take these out by hand, they're solid, and they're solid all the way up. The actual seal tends to be very difficult. You could try taking it off by hand. I don't think you have any success, and this just fits nicely over. And you put your 1/8 inch ratchet in there. Right, let's have a look. It's tough. Oh god, yeah. Oh god, that is tight. Oh yeah, there's no way you're getting that off by hand. I can barely hold it with a ratchet. That's come loose. Right, let's take that off. Should be able to. Unscrew that now. What I'm going to need is something to put around it, because the oil will drip off, won't it? Put this little bit of plastic over, put that on there when it comes off. Stay there. There you go. Oh, there you go. Just put it over there. Oh, yeah, let's see. There you go. Let's take a look. Be careful, because you can snap this off. Don't start wiggle it from side to side. It should just pull out. There you go. Simple as that. There's no right and wrong way, I don't think. I can't see anything on here to say a right and a wrong way. Let's have a look at the filter. Looks pretty dirty. We've basically got two seals. We've got this little one here right at the very end. I should be able to tease that off with a little knife or something, just to hook under there. And also this one, you've got a big seal here. Let's see if I can take it off of me thumb now. I just need a little knife or something just to ease under, but you can see where it goes, because there's only one place for it to really go, and it's like one thread up from the bottom. But it's so big it won't fit in these, obviously. It just fits there. Anyway, there we go. Let's see if I can just tease that off with my little pair of small pliers. Yeah, look, no problem at all. You got the bigger one here. We're not using them again, obviously, so yeah, simples. What I'm going to do now is just clean this out a little bit, tidy it up. So be right back. Right, let's put those new seals on. Actually put the filter in as well. Basically just pushes down over the top, and sometimes it has like a little bit of a click in. You sort of push it and then it sort of clips in. Make sure you push it all the way down. And we've got this little packet of seals. We'll put the big one over the top first. Just goes over the thread. Tease that down over the threads until you get to that bigger section. There's a little hole there. I suppose that just tells you where to go. Make sure that's fitted all the way around. And there you have it. Now we've got the little one to go on the top. Should be easy enough just to pop it over. Effortless. Now let's fit it. And there you go, it's just a matter of popping it back in place and screwing it up. Do it, let me just, there you go, that's tight enough. Now I've got to try and get this off, prise that off, because that seems to have stuck on there. Anyway, that's that. Just take a look at that oil, which is ready now. Because we're going to be putting the fresh oil in. What I'm going to have to do is put the new sump nut, and you don't have to replace the whole sump nut. I mean, you could just get the crush washer, but for the sake of it's not a lot of difference in price. I think the nut and the washer comes for about £8 free delivery, so it's a no-brainer really. Get it new together, saves any problems. So let's put this brand new sump nut and crush washer in, ready for the new oil. And we'll take a look at the flush oil in a minute. One moment. Right, that's the sump nut back in. To stop a few little drips, I want to take the oil catch pan out. Oh, it's right up the other end now. One moment, so push it out of the way. Let's see what the oil is like with the second flush. Oh, there you go. We're going to have 7.5 litres of pretty much wasted oil, but is it wasted? Let's have a look. Wow. Check this out. Most of you will give your car an oil change. Check this out. That looks pretty black, but we can't quite see it, can we? Let me get my glass. I've not had a chance to clean it completely out, but you get an idea of how dirty it is. Oh, let's put me. Hold on, see if you can see. Wow, look at that. That's crazy, isn't it? How many of you are just gonna change your oil next time around, or are you gonna flush it to get rid of all this? That's as black as what it was initially. That's crazy. I'm very pleased. Actually, if I do an oil change in the future, my cat's just come to see me again. Get away from there, it's not a drink. You won't like that. No, no, go away. Garfield. Yeah, can you believe it? He's the star of the show, really. Hey, no, don't be silly. It's bloody oil, you stupid cat. And he's old. He doesn't know any better. And yeah, wow. I'm probably always going to do this now, from now on, because it's ridiculous, isn't it, how dirty that oil is. I've only just changed it and flushed it out with this, and it's still dirty. I bet you could flush that again, it'd still be dirty. But anyway, enough's enough, and it's all about now putting the I've got the oil filter in. I put the cap's got to go on after I filled it with the fresh Mercedes oil, and that's about it. Will it run a bit better now it's clear? It might have cleared out that excessive. Will I notice a difference? I will put some comments in the comments area if I do notice anything that's out of the ordinary, because you do, don't you? You know exactly how your car runs. So after all this, it might have cleared out some sort of pipes and bits and pieces within the engine components that might make it run a little bit smoother. I have no idea, but I will put the comments, as I say. If you do check out the comments, or you want to make a comment, please press the like button if this is any use whatsoever. It all makes a difference, because it is quite an effort to get out here, go through all this and do the video at the same time. Anyway, that's about it. I'm not going to insult your intelligence anymore, because all I'm going to do now is just literally put 7.5, well no, 8 litres of oil back in the car, and put, you know, the cover back and the engine cover, and that's about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and there was parts of it that you found interesting, and if you did, please press the like button. Anyway, I'll catch you all soon. Take care. Emirates.